Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Viv.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Bronze.
It is Thursday, the 26th of February. Storm and Teacup, episode 53. So, just to continue what you were just saying there, Viv, before we got going.
There's a
full on Tuesday.
Yeah, full moon on Tuesday, called a worm moon for some unknown reason. I couldn't find out why, but it's called worm moon. And it happens on Tuesday, and I work in a call center, as people may or may not know. And the callers on today around the full moon, some of them are mental with a capital M.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I certainly think the phases of the moon do affect us, full moon especially. And I believe the police even recognise full moons as being a bit of being a bit more of a troublesome time. And that's where we get the term lunacy from.
And lunatic, and from the Latin for moon, a luna.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm wrong on that, but
I think that's where it comes from. And if you think about it, the moon is supposed to control the tides, so it has an effect over these huge bodies of water. And if you consider that our bodies are I can't remember the percentage now, 75% water, maybe more.
A lot,
yeah,
majority.
Yes, it is. The majority of our bodies are made up of water, so it kind of makes sense in that respect as well. And I certainly do feel full moons for the most part, without even really knowing it's a full moon. I'll kind of feel either really tense or really kind of very sort of focused, and then I'll find out it's a full moon. So yeah, I'm a believer in that.
As you know, I've had quite a colourful past, and for my sins, I've ended up in quite a few nut houses, shall we say? I'm allowed to call them that because that's what I was in. But genuinely, all of the nurses, and because I wasn't too mental, shall we say, so I could actually have grown-up conversations with some of the staff. But they genuinely would say they hated being on duty during a full moon because the crazies just get crazier. It's a very strange coincidence, but yeah,
there's definitely something to it. And also, sometime, I don't know if I think it last weekend or this weekend, Chinese New Year as well, which I believe is that based on a lunar calendar? I may or may not be right about that one.
Yeah, I think so.
No, it is. Yeah. They have 12 signs like us. Theirs goes into it a bit more in depth because, so for instance, I'm the year of the rabbit, but each of their animals also has subcategories for particular years, and it just so happens that I'm on one of the particular years for the rabbits, and I'm what is it? I am a wood rabbit, I think it is. I might be wrong.
They have 4 elements, don't they? They have fire, wood, metal, and what's the other one? Air, I think it is. This year, this Chinese year, I don't even know if it's started as yet or if it's about to, but it's the year of the fire horse. And that
fire
is
horse. Oh, that sounds cool. I like that.
Well, no, it's not actually. apparently, it's not. Fire horse is meant to be one that traditionally in Chinese astrology, it's one of the worst signs of their zodiac.
Right.
And apparently, I don't know if it's true, but there used to be a tradition that Chinese women, if they were going to have a fire horse as a baby, they would abort it because it was such bad luck.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if that's
very
true.
superstitious.
I've no idea if that's true. That could be complete bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just something I read. And also, your own year is apparently meant to not be good for you. So there you go.
Not good for you, as in that year of your babyhood, or
So you said you are a wood. Did you say a wood rabbit?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
so if it comes around, I mean, every 12 years, your sign repeats because they have 12 signs for their
Yeah.
zodiac. And then that's subdivided into 4 again. So it's like every 48 years, I think it is, whatever it would be, your elemental sign would come around, I guess. 48, maybe something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe I'm wrong on the maths there. But so every year of the rabbit, it would be either a wood or a metal or an air or a fire. So when it comes around to actually being a wood rabbit, if you're a wood rabbit, that's meant to be really bad for people who are wood rabbits.
I see. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. But
Definitely.
it's astrology, it's, whatever.
But I mean, well, it's still very interesting how sort of early mankind sort of did that, because so they have the 12 animals and we have the 12 signs, but ours is a monthly lunar cycle, whereas theirs is a 12 yearly lunar cycle. So I don't know why we're both 12s and why one of us do it through months and years, but even that's quite interesting to me.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, ours is based on animals as well, isn't it? Really, yeah, they're all kind of pretty much animal based.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and we have whereas they so each of their animals can have an elemental purpose. So all of ours have an elemental purpose. They say sort of like Taurians are earthly, Pisces is a water sign. So we have ours encompassed in the actual sign.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So we were definitely, as early man, we're definitely very interested in the different elements and obviously the lunar cycles. But
well, it's connected to the stars, isn't it? It's connected to the constellations. The Western astrology. I don't really know the origins of it, to be honest with you, or how long it's been. We've kind of had that sort of structure in place.
It's very ancient. It is very ancient, and it's star based. Yeah, I mean, I'm Aquarius. I don't quite know where that fits. But,
that's the water sign, I believe.
Yeah,
Aquarius is an air sign, isn't it? It's an air sign.
I think it's an air sign,
okay.
which is a bit counterintuitive, isn't it? But yeah.
yeah. Well, you're the water carrier, aren't you? The Aquarius.
Yeah, I'm the water carrier.
Oh, that's it. That's right. Yeah.
Whatever that means. I'm not sure. I remember reading their there's with birth signs as well. I read the Mayan business, and that was really weird and quite disturbing in its accuracy. So I don't know. All the cultures have these. It seems, or many of them. Again, based on stargazing, I suppose, and the elements and the seasons, and it is important. These are of fundamental importance to us. We were just talking about how beautiful England has been in the last few days. It's got a bit gloomy now, but I mean, Tuesday, Wednesday was glorious. Spring is sprung, almost, or maybe it's a false spring. We've got a month or so to go.
I think it'll be on and off for now, but yes, you're quite right. It has been very, very nice. It's been sunny, but kind of, it's not been too hot. The sky's been kind of clear with some nice sort of fluffy white clouds. And for the first time that since I can remember this year, I can actually feel the warmth of the sun when you're in it.
Yeah, definitely.
And the blossoms are coming out in the trees, and the daffodils are blooming. So, and you get that kind of smell in the air. That smell of whatever it is, if things are starting to pollinate.
Of rebirth.
Yes.
And you were saying about beauty, and here's one for you, because I was just thinking in my head, I think I prefer, I don't know if it's right to say I prefer the beauty of the night, but I'm going to say, certainly I've been around the world and I've seen like the Northern Lights, for instance. That's probably one of the most magnificent things I've seen. But so I've always looked at the stars, and so I think I get quite a lot of peace from bonfires, from night times, from scenes at night. Would you say you prefer daytime or nighttime?
Bronze?
Oh, sorry. What do I prefer?
Yeah, would you say you have a Yeah, do you like the day or the night?
I don't know. I mean, I'm more of I've never been a morning person. I've always been more of an evening person. But yeah, I mean, you can't beat sitting around a good old bonfire out in the country under the open sky, can you? You can't beat that.
Oh no, you can't.
Interesting. I just wondered if I was. What about yourself, Viv? Yeah,
I like them both actually for different reasons.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I try to appreciate everything, to be honest, because I'm alive, and you know, I'm reading a bit of the old Greek philosophers this week, and I'm reading Stoic philosophy.
You're not allowed to put that at the beginning. We've got to have it at least.
Oh no, I know, but something that struck me, the Stoic school, they hold that, you know, change what you can and accept what you can't. And we can't change the weather. Well, some people can, because I've noticed chemtrails have lessened in the last few days because they are spraying. People go, oh, conspiracy theory. But the plans are out there. It's called Satan. Believe it or not, they want to block out the sun. So, but yeah, change what you can, accept what you can't.
Oh, you've really there'll be one person out there listening to this that'll understand why I'm saying this, but you've really hit a nerve on me there, Viv. And we're obviously, all three of us are getting on a spiritual level where we're on each other's wavelength. I'm going through this week. I'm starting to challenge the whole idea of acceptance problems with my son. I don't want to go into them with the rest of the world. You guys know what it's all about. But yeah, it's I've realised, you know, this idea of acceptance is, I'm going to swear because it's fucking really difficult for me. so I'm glad you touched on that subject. It's not a word to be thrown around. It's a really difficult thing to come to terms with, to accept things.
Totally. Yeah. Totally, I am totally with you there. We're told in the modern world, this weird modern world, that you know, we can change things. Yeah, can be yourself. Just be, you know, it's your world to change. But I'm sorry, you know, no, it isn't. For a start, you know, we're not the controllers of this world. Maybe I might say God is, but that certainly politicians are. Certainly there are people who do control the world. But we even they can't change it. They can't change this small blue dot floating in space. You know, they try, but it's hubris. It's the arrogance that comes over people before the gods destroy them.
Do you know, I always used to say my anger, that was what would make me anger, was my control. Back in the days when I was drinking and I was really in a bad place, my lust for control, I've come to terms with, that's what actually made me angry. It wasn't that I had the anger, it was that I had that initial problem, and then that then. And I think people need to, you know, sort of look at that as a concept, that trying to control what cannot be controlled is absolute lunacy, and so therefore, you know, it is for me, it's my way of anger. So yeah, it's again, you've got to be really careful with these things, you know.
Yeah, you have to accept, you have to understand what you can control, what you can, you know, and largely that's about you. That's about you changing your mindset and saying, well, you know what? It's like the old saying, an old man shouting at clouds. Well, you can't, you know. It's going to rain. What are you going to do? Put on a raincoat. It's cold, like my mum used to say. You cold boy, put on a jumper.
It kind of reminds me of like the those sort of Russian dolls. You know, you open up one, there's another one inside. You open up another, there's another one inside. When you're talking about acceptance, because it's like it's like you say, 4D, it is very, very difficult to just accept some things, and it kind of sometimes clashes as well with like, well, you know, with ambition. It's like, well, what do I want to do with my life? You know, I want to do this with my life, but But then it's kind
yeah,
of like,
yeah.
hold on a minute, should I just accept there's certain things I can't do, even if I want to do them? So it becomes a kind of a confusion. Like you said, Viv, you have to understand what you can and can't, what you are able to achieve and do, and what you have to just accept as something that you have no control over. So it's very difficult, and it's like kind of if it was that easy, we all have regrets, and these regrets, they kind of they dog you all the time. You might be
Yeah.
able to push them to the back of your mind, and forget about them and get on with your life, but they keep on coming back, from time to time, and sort of maybe bring you down or slowing you down or doing whatever. And it's like, okay, let's just go away. But getting rid of those is equivalent to acceptance. If you could accept and confront and deal with those, then they wouldn't keep coming back and being regrets, So that's kind of part of acceptance as well, which is really difficult to do. It's really difficult just to quieten those and make them go away.
Yep. That voice of within me of shame and regret.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think it's important to understand that, in a sense, like psychology, I want to say that I'm pretty much against Freudian psychology, modern psychology, when it says, you confront and deal with your past traumas. I do understand that they exist, of course, within your mind, but they've gone. They've gone.
Well, would you?
Yeah,
well,
but they haven't gone though, have they? But they haven't gone. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep coming back into your mind.
But the original event, is gone.
You are carrying the emotional effect of those with you, so they're not really. You haven't dealt with it sufficiently to be able to leave it behind.
So
depends. Are you looking backwards or are you looking forward?
But that's kind of not how I see it. I see it as it's something that you're carrying with you. So you're not looking backwards or forwards. It's just part of you because you are carrying it with you. You haven't put it down, left it where it was in the past. You are continuing to bring it with you on your journey.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no doubt.
And from a psychological. Go on, sorry.
No, 4D, what do you say about that? You carry many things from the past, like all of us, but some perhaps more burdensome to you than others.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, so I went off into a hospital in 2012, which was the first time anyone had even muttered the words PTSD to me. I didn't know I had mental health problems, and I went off and I did my time in a hospital. It was an inpatient thing for 6 weeks where we were explained what was going wrong with our heads, and we did some crying therapy and drawing therapy and shouting therapy and all sorts of stuff, and I come out of it and it was a bit of a blur to me. And I remember sitting it, and also I'd gone in there as an alcoholic, and I came out saying, right, that's it, I'm going to be sober, and I'd gone on to AA and stayed sober. And I think for the first time, the clarity of soberness had come up on me. But suddenly I was like, right, I want to understand mental health because I'm an ex-squaddy. I remember doing X, Y, and Z, and again, even to you two, I think I've said it many times. I am at 100%. I'm a totally different person to the person I was before I had what you would class as mental health problems, shall we say? But so I think it was my savior. It was how I stayed off alcohol. I just dived into the internet, looking into mental health, looking into the amygdala, the frontal lobe, the left, right brain, the female, male brain, and everything. And I really, really found it interesting. And this Freudian look at it, that everything comes from your childhood. I find it interesting that I think from the journey I've taken and the looks into mental health that I've looked into, certainly in the first 3 years, you don't actually develop a memory until you're about just after 3, I think it is. For the first 3 years, there's no such concept of making a memory. However, those first 3 years are possibly fundamentally the most important for your development, because even though you have no memories, you've developed no memories, you've got all this background what do we call it? Subconscious stuff. So, for instance, if your mum and dad were both shouty type people, in those first 3 years, it would have, as a baby, it would have put you in a state of fear or a state of anxiousness, and that anxiousness will stay in your body, and possibly come out when you're 30 or come out when you're 40 to bite you, or it'll just be there all your life. And you almost have to, I've been in and out of different mental health places since 2012, because there is no bloody help in this country because it's useless, except for you, my love, who I know you're listening and you're wonderful. But lost my train of thought. It's changing it slightly. So when I looked into it deeply with myself, with mental health, with soldiers, and you think, well, these guys like me. There was one time when we were doing stuff fine. Like, for instance, for me, I can't see blood. I can't see anything violent. I either throw up, I have shakes, or luckily I haven't fainted, but I always feel like I'm going to faint or something. It's crazy. And yet that was part of my life and I was fine with it before. And yet you find out that with military PTSD, our amygdalas have changed shape and size. And so, for instance, if I go under an MRI, a doctor can actually physically see that I've got specifically military PTSD. Why? And so the amygdala has many purposes, but one of the main ones for me for PTSD is it's fight or flight. So us, certainly as men, as hunter-gatherers, a fight or flight response, sort of a no gate, yes gate in your head is very important for you to know when to run away from something or when to run at the tiger. And ours gets messed up probably through training and institutionalization and it's why it's specific to military PTSD that your amygdala swells up. And so it's very strange that I have there are mental health conditions that actually have a physical representation in the brain, meaning it's got to be more than just Freudian. I don't know about that. I think that there must be more to it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean
that's just one aspect.
Yeah, that is really well said, actually. I mean, I'm not making light. Don't think that at all.
No, please don't worry, because I've come fully to terms. I don't care if you take the mickey out of me. I don't care if you want more info. I've got no problem with it anymore, of that side of it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, there is definitely a physical. I think it's you can't separate the emotional and the physical. They are they're completely entwined with each other. If it's quite common to have a physical reaction to an emotion, isn't it? That's really common. And quite often it's not something that we have control over. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean, 4D, by when you said you're talking about the Freudian thing, but then you're kind of talking about physical reaction and saying that you're sure.
I did drift off a bit. I suppose really what I was saying is that everything happens in your childhood. Like Freud says, you have to go to the mother and all that sort of, and the breastfeeding and this, that, and the other. It's always cocks with him. But it is like those first 3 years, that childhood experience of whether your mum and dad were shouty, whether they swaddled you a lot, whether as soon as you cried they rushed to stop you crying, or whether they just left you to cry.
Well, there is a thing of imprinting, isn't there? I mean, I'm not really sold on Freud. Like you say, everything with him is about sex, and I think it's like I mean, there's a massive amount of your formation as a person is done in your early years, no doubt about that. But I'm not really big on Freud when it comes to psychology. But the thing about imprinting is it's like when they noticed this. I remember a story about this duckling being born, and the first thing it saw was a ping pong ball, and it imprinted upon that ping pong ball.
Yes,
and so that was to it. That was the first thing it saw. So that was its kind of. It saw that as its mother, in a sense.
You see it very often with pets. Very often, someone has got an old dog, and then they adopt a kitten, and you see the kitten sort of becomes the dog. It's the closest thing to it. And I must be one of those. And you see it with sheep, goats, all sorts of creatures that sort of mistakenly. Because again, why would you? It's a very strange concept. If you've never seen yourself and you don't have a concept of self, you just look at someone or something, and it looks back at you. It's kind of, you can see how they go, oh, that must be what I look like. That must be what I am.
I don't even think it's a conscious logical thing. It's just it's an instinctive thing.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I cannot remember anything. My earliest memories are, I don't even know when they are, but they probably were when I was, 3, when I was about 3.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 is generally accepted.
But there are some people who say they remember being in the womb. Now, I can't either say that's true or not, because I'm not them. For me, that's not the case. But some people do say that. They say they have memories earlier than of when they were 3. So I don't know. I don't know about that.
There's a lot of evidence. Again, none of us know, and we don't know if what they tell us is right either. But there's a lot of evidence psychologically to say that you can't. The parts of the brain that are involved in memory aren't developed until 3. So it's kind of impossible. But who knows?
Well, I mean, that's kind of coming from a purely scientific point of view, and I'm reluctant to put to completely put all my trust into that as well. It's
absolutely, yeah.
So you can only go on what you know, your own experiences at the end of the day, can't you?
Yeah,
all you can really trust.
Yep.
I think a lot of things just stand to reason. Like I say, as if your mum cuddled you a lot as a kid, you're going to grow up to appreciate a cuddle and feel, and not only appreciate it, but feel calm when you get cuddled. Do you get me? Because it will just evoke that memory in your dormant brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course,
you get programmed, don't you? It's programming. That's what it is. Effectively,
so much is programming, and so much of what we're doing as part of kind of awakened individuals is getting rid of the bad programming.
Yes.
Well, we're trying, but
we're trying. Yeah, we're trying.
It's very. I mean, this is quite interesting. This kind of touches onto neuro-linguistic programming, which I know not much about, to be honest with you. But it is the art of kind of trying to deprogram all the bad crap that you've been lumbered with, and the longer you've gone on with this bad programming, the harder it is to undo, because the deeper it goes.
Oh yeah.
It's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks, that sort of expression. And the older you get, it's so difficult to undo a lot of it.
Well, and I think that's why it comes back to acceptance, and it's why with the lady that I speak to, I've said I've got this funny feeling that I can't be fixed per se of having a mental problem with a particular event, but what I'm trying to do is get to that acceptance. And it's not just, I walk around moody. It's like I actually have the most horrific nightmares where I don't even know what I'm dreaming. I can't wake up and tell you what the nightmare was. I just wake up completely wet from every bit of my skin must open up and just release all the water in my body. Anyway, so there's a physical, there's a mental thing going on. But I've said to my lady, I'm on the journey in my head that I've rather than trying to get rid of or come. Well, what was the word you used? Rather than dealing with it, just accept. Sorry, that's the point. Acceptance, just accepting. Right, it happened. I am going to have flashbacks. I am going to have nightmares. But the more that I just accept that that's the truth, that hopefully it just calms me down more. But I can't actually get rid of the problem per se.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really stop it happening, but you can try, and the way you deal with it, you can change that, your attitude towards it. So it's going to happen, and you just have to say it's gonna happen. And so
That's
when it
it.
does happen, maybe it won't quite upset you or throw you off so much, you know. You just take it as, okay, that's your life now. It's part of it. It's when you need to go to the toilet, you have to go to the toilet. It's not a pleasant experience, but you have to do it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's a really bad analogy, but
well, it's kind of, because you're getting rid of waste material.
it's a necessity. It's a necessity. I know it shouldn't be a necessity, and it hasn't always been a necessity, but the fact is, it is. You know, and you probably can't change it. A lot of your angst probably comes from the fact that you want it to go away, and you always, and you're not really accepting that it's not going to go away. So you have to just kind of say, okay, it's something you've got to live with now.
And I said earlier I wasn't going to bring it up, but actually it's a great time for it. So yes, that aside, so at the moment I'm trying to come. How does someone come to terms with losing a child, but and this is where it gets complicated. It's like, I haven't lost a child. My child is still alive. I just haven't seen my child. And there was an opportunity for me to be able to get into his life, and it didn't happen. And so, I'm going through this process of right, okay, I've got to come to terms with that. And my argument, or my debate with the lady was, well, you're asking, with raised voices, I might add, I said, you're asking me to come to terms with something that the point of me having depression is impossible for me to come to terms. My son is dead, but not dead. And so I don't want that to be misconstrued. You understand what I mean?
No, yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I know to a certain extent, Viv is kind of knows what I'm talking about. But back, or if you can throw something back at me, gentlemen, like how do you tell someone to come to terms with something like that?
Well, I think what makes it difficult is the fact that the possibility is still there. What you really want to happen, that possibility is still alive.
I'm glad do you know what? You bastard. You picked up on it straight away. Exactly. Yeah. That's my problem. Yes.
And that is the killer. That is a killer thing, because you're being asked to accept that it's not going to happen. But that possibility is still, it's not like you've actually physically lost your child, your son, like he's been killed or he's gone and he's never going to come back.
Jill, are you listening to this? That's what I wanted to say to you. That's exactly what I meant to say to you. Yeah. Well done, Bronze. Exactly.
Because if that had happened, there's no way that's ever going to come back. But that's not the case. He's still that possibility of him coming back is still there, and that's probably
that's where the torment comes in.
Yeah, that's the real torture of it. That's why it's so hard for you to just let it go and accept it, because that
and the other thing is, I suppose if there's always this idea that if you've done something wrong, then you kind of go there, right, you have to come to it. It's a different acceptance. You're coming to accept what you did wrong. In this particular instance, I don't feel like there was anything that I did wrong, which you'd say, oh, that makes it easier. It doesn't. It makes it absolutely worse.
Yeah.
Because at least you can go, oh, you were a dick, you did X, Y, and Z. Well, that's your fault, and you'll have to come to terms with that. But when you go, damn, I think I did all that I could do, and it still went wrong, it's where it goes off. You get angry about that sort of thing. What about you, Viv?
It's just really total sadness. Total sadness. And I did grow up with the children. I brought them up, obviously with their mother. And so I do accept, of course, my faults, and I'm not saying I'm not to blame. I did become distant, etc. I do find also that my ex is being really quite unfair to me, in that I'm pretty sure I did have some kind of strange breakdown around the time of COVID, because let's not forget I'd also lost my job the year before, and then COVID hit, and it's just wave after wave of weirdness.
Yeah.
And yeah, it with me it is, there's elements of guilt and shame and regret. But looking back, the way I look upon it is that it's done now. It, it, it's happened, and I'm contrasting Freud, who Freud just drags up the past, and I don't want to have to endlessly drag up the past. But then again, I don't see a future. I have tried to see them. Of course, I send them gifts as if that really makes everything better, you know. But I think my partner has been a bit unfair, and I don't want to blame her, of course, you know. But at least we could meet halfway. At least I could meet the children, and perhaps I haven't made. They're not children; they're in their 20s now. But I could make more of an effort, perhaps. Maybe I've become resigned. Maybe my philosophy is such that I think that I want to move forward rather than move back. I try to understand myself. Who can really understand themselves? I don't know if that's at all possible, because we're trapped within the mind, our own minds, our memories, of which no one will ever really know. So yeah, but it's sadness. It is of sadness, or I should say, not really sadness. Yeah, but we feel sad. It's a wet and rainy day. I feel sad. No, it's more like melancholy when the subject appears in my mind. I think my kids. I was just think about it every day, basically. I think I won't have their comforts. I don't know exactly why they have cut ties with me. But I won't have the comfort of grandchildren, that kind of thing. I'm
glad you say that. I've always thought that it was more. I've always thought that men don't really think like that, and so I'm glad because you're just the same as me. That's the point. We're no different to women. We can still love, but I've often thought that I wonder if I'm. What's the word for over the top? I don't know what the word for
no,
is. But I saw a future and everything.
It's not over the top. It's just that there is, again, back to programming. Men have been programmed not to feel this way, just to let it all go, move on. But no, it doesn't happen like that. Not with men. If a man is honest with themselves, and I'm talking about actual honesty with yourself, then no, it doesn't go away. You can't just move on. Oh well, I was with someone for years and years, and we had kids. Hey ho, hey ho.
And I suppose that's what I'm saying. It's that you sound like you've come to a little bit more acceptance than I, but the concept of acceptance is certainly difficult.
I think Viv's reaction to it is different from yours, 4D. Yours seems to be anger. You seem to get angry and sort of lash out, whereas Viv just tends to kind of just really feel it, and kind of be a bit more less what's the word? Less kind of extrovert with his.
I was going to say, actually, no, believe it. This is the one thing that's happened in my life that I'm not actually angry about. It's exactly that word that he says. Just I get there and I get just sad. I just sit here and I think, oh God, no, I don't actually genuinely get angry about it anymore.
No.
It's a different situation.
One thing to consider as well, for what it's worth, I think. We're all guilty of the things that we regret. They're all down to us to a certain extent. There's no two ways about it. And and we're going to feel bad about what we did or didn't do, or where we screwed up. But it's not just you. It's not 4D. It's not just you, Viv. It's not just you, Viv. From what we've spoken about your situation, I think your ex has been very harsh on you. And the fact that your kids don't want to see you is probably almost entirely down to her, I would say. I could be wrong. I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't, they wouldn't want to see you, apart from what they've been told, and who would be telling them that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
If I was young and my parents split up, there's no way I would just want to cut out one of my parents for no reason. I would have had to have been given a reason to feel that way. And I would have only been given that reason by the other one of my parents telling me that, you know?
Well, see, again, the other part of that is that when we all grew up, it was a different time. There was a sense of closeness and family ties, but so taking away from anyone's blame, as in just the programming. We're changing the subject now, but the deep state programming that have sort of told kids that they don't need their families, and they don't need this, that, and the other. And they can have an AI family and an AI girlfriend or whatever.
That's a very recent thing for I mean, but both of your kids now are in their 20s, so you're not talking about something which has happened over the last 5 or 10 years.
I think it's been no, I think it's been there.
Yeah, it has, but still, the family unit was still. It's only now it's starting to really affect. It's starting to break down the family unit now. With all the indoctrination that they're putting into young kids' heads in schools and stuff. And but I think even 25, 30 years ago, that family unit was still strong enough to not really be that affected by that so much.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I genuinely disagree with you on that one, but just because, I mean, well, Tony Blair was in government when my boy was born, and I think the programming has been hardcore for that generation ever since.
It has, but it wasn't immediately hardcore when he came in. It's taken a long time for them to really build it up. And also, well, with you again, 4D, it's like, the mother of your kids, she wasn't the best, was she? She wasn't the.
I was going to say, you don't have to hold your words. I maybe have to because it's personal, but she was a very, very bad person. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So it's not all your fault. It's not all your fault.
No, I mean, I suppose I think Viv would probably say the same. I think it doesn't really come down to whether it was your fault or someone else's fault. You've still got the loss kind of thing,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, that's going to happen. But you're compounding it. You're always compounding it by beating yourself up, saying, "Oh, I screwed up. Oh, I'm a bad. I've been a terrible father. I did this. I shouldn't have done." And it's not. You don't need to pile on all the extra crap on top of it. And the loss is the loss. You can't get away from it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That's what I mean when I said trauma is in the past, but of course, it leaves a vapor trail in your mind. And the thing I would say is my ex-partner was actually a very good person, I think, as far as I know. But
oh yeah, for you two, it was just as you explained, it was a difficult time. Things went a bit wrong. And such, I mean, again, I'm not trying to stick up for brotherhood and that, but I'd still say you've got to be there for the other one when things go wrong. And so,
I know.
Again, I'm not anything to do with your life, so I'm not.
I know.
It sounds like when she kicked you out, Viv, that wasn't something she just suddenly decided to do. To me, from what I've it sounded like that's something that had been building in her mind for quite a while. And it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back,
And an opportunity, opportunity, because I was isolating because she reckoned I'd had COVID. I don't believe in COVID, as you know. I just think I had a springtime cold, to be honest.
Yeah.
And those tests don't mean anything either. We know this. We know all about this. That how they faked a pandemic. Come on, people. Please let's not put this. If anyone's listening and you still believe in the reality of the COVID years, tell me to my face, where did the flu go? Tell me, I can talk with you for hours about this, and I would disabuse these notions that there was a deadly pandemic.
No, there wasn't. Absolutely not.
Well, people are scouring the Epstein files, and there's a lot. Again, I always have to say it's not proof yet, but I think there's a lot of. It's pretty much been proven that they were talking about doing it.
But there's so many examples. There's so many examples of why it wasn't, and people just need to kind of see, find these out for themselves. And we could sit here for the next 2 hours reading them all off, but we've done that loads of times in the past, I think already. I think we've done the COVID scam to death, really, haven't we? There's no point.
We've done we've done the whole nonsense to death. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't need any convincing.
I'd really like to say that that if any blokes out there are shut in themselves, just have a chat like we're chatting. Go down the pub with your mates, but don't put on a brave face. You know, let's not get all weepy and confessional. You know, in the modern sense, just talk it through. Talk it through.
Yeah,
that's all
but
it needs.
You know what? There's not much opportunity. This is another thing that today I was very busy. Last week I was busy. I go to, there is a group that I go to once a week for that reason. But and again, remember, I've been in this game now since 2012, so I've seen how bad it is. But there's nothing for men. Everywhere I've drifted in the last 12 years, and again, I don't mean any offence to anyone, but it's very female orientated. It's that sort of, let's sit, have a cup of tea, and let's talk about our problems. And again, I don't mean derogatory the way I'm saying it there, but that is how women deal with issues. That's not how men deal with issues. And I've started to sit here and write things down. What makes me a man? What is it I need help with? And also, you know, so women will sit down with a cup of tea, some biscuits, some nice cakes, some nice sandwiches, and they'll talk, and they'll cry on each other's shoulders, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, Jean, you go, girl," and they build each other up, and they get over their problems really well with that environment. And it's trying to transfer that into a man's world without trying to be too male, female, but you've got to accept that I'm a man and I don't want to do things like that. And so for us, it's bits of wood, it's books, it's bits of metal, it's putting a train set together, it's going out in the garden, digging a hole, it's calling each other twats, it's taking the mickey out of Bronze's jacket and Viv's shoes. You know what I mean? We don't comfort each other. We don't get over our problems by comforting each other. We get over each other's problems by going to the pub, calling each other a twat, and it's all done and dusted. But yeah, it's trying to find. But there is genuinely, in all of the mental health stuff that I've been in the last 12 years, there's not really any men orientated pub environments. And of course, we've taken half the pubs out of the country, so now there's not that way. Again, that was the way men did it. They went down the pub, they had a punch up, went home, everything was fine. I'm making it simpler, but you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I get it entirely. What you're talking about is some kind of middle ground between the extreme male behaviours and the extreme female behaviours, and meeting somewhere how in the middle. It's you know, men are encouraged to just get on with it, but sometimes that's not. You know, we need a bit of sympathy, a bit of empathy. You know, and you're quite right. Yeah. And I'm looking at the number of people with mental health who've been neglected. That fella in Nottingham, that Canacane bloke who lost it, who slaughtered those 3 people. I mean, you know, he didn't seem to get much help, and I'm not saying that he. I think he should have been sectioned, but then I want to bring up the fella at the some awards going, and he shouted a derogatory term because he's got Tourette's. You know, now again, you know, which is kind of absurd. And now there's this big battle, like, who's the bigger victim? Is it the black guys who are on the stage, or the Tourette's person?
Well, before we get into that, can I just make a comment about what you're just saying about how there seems to be no help for kind of male oriented help for mental you know, for depression and mental disorders. And I think that is such a symptom of modern. I mean, we never used to have that, because in the old days it was just like, you know, pull your socks up and get on with it, lad. You know, be a man. That was it, right? In the old days, but nowadays it's all become this kind of touchy-feely feelings, and anything else is now branded toxic masculinity.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so all men are being emasculated, which is not
Absolutely.
helping things at all, because that's not
Absolutely. Yeah.
because that's not the way for us. You know, that's not how men, you know, should proceed. So it's kind of like you know, all this modern sort of you know, beta male sort of stuff is not helping us at all.
No, not
and
at all.
it's just a symptom of where we are as a society now. You know, masculinity is being shamed out of us one way or another. We're not allowed to be men anymore. And so
yeah, and you're right, and I suppose that's why we're both right. As in, you're right. We don't need to be muddy cuddled, and we never did that before. But the point is, we need to go back to a time where we were more masculine. So
there needs to be a third way. Yes. There needs to be a middle way. You know,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier. Yeah.
There was a lot more bars. There were a lot more. Well, even social coherence. There's a lot more single men wandering around than there were 50 years ago, and there's a lot more
men and women
problems with men.
Yeah, I mean, I think generally there's an awful lot more single men and women these days who just
but
increasingly isolated and don't really feel that there's nobody that they can reach out to, when there's so many people out there who are feeling the same, who don't reach out to each other, you know.
And again, there's this message goes out from the media for the controllers of society as well. And as you say, Bronze, you know, males have been denigrated. There's no doubt about it. The idea of toxic masculinity. And then, you know, women, we can have it all, but then they get into their 40s and they haven't got a bloke and they've got a career, and it's shit. It's time to hit the Pinot Noir.
Feminism has been a really bad thing for women, I've got to say.
Oh yeah.
Feminism has been disastrous for women.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense that it kind of, you know, did raise women into a certain position of what can I put this, of valuing themselves more. Yes, I understand its worth, but when you look at some of the after effects of feminism, you could call it post-feminism. You know, for one obvious reason, the money makers, the governments, well, they, you know, back in the 50s, 60s, maybe into the 70s, one person had to go out to work, the man. They could afford a mortgage on that. But then they got two for the price of one. Get the woman out to work as well. Did wages, you know, did concomitant wages increase? No, house prices went up. And now we have two people working who can't even afford to buy a house. You know,
exactly.
Some people are living in poverty. That's a consequence of the idea that, you know, a certain feminist idea. Yeah, go out to work. Well, okay, that's fine. Yeah. But what have they got in return? What have we got in return? Have we got double the income? Sort of.
But also, it's, you know, it's still a single person. You know, you have a relationship like you say in the old days. It'd be, you'd have one breadwinner, and that would be enough to sort out all your, you know, things you want to do in life, to get yourself buy yourself a property, to raise a family. That was enough. But now it's not enough. So it's kind of the whole post-feminism thing is, like I say, it's the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and that fits into that perfectly. And sorry, just one more thing. Post-feminism to me now is summed up as basically women making themselves feel more in control by slagging off men. That's what it's kind of boiled down to now. That's the way it is. And that's not feminism. That is not feminism. It's not good for anyone. It's destructive.
And also aping male behaviours.
Yes,
a lot of
exactly.
young women seem to be quite masculine in a way that I wouldn't have expected. And I'm not saying that women should, no way, should women revert to some kind of stereotype of a delicate flower, because I've never thought of them that way, and they've never really been that way. But at the same time, if this is such a good idea for two people in a household with kids to go out and double their income, then why can't they buy two houses?
Yeah, it's all screwed up. It's been used and abused, the whole concept, hasn't it? And it's just fractured even more. But yeah, you did mention the BAFTAs there and the guy with Tourette's. I wouldn't mind having a few words about that, because that's quite interesting.
Go on then.
I think.
I'll just quickly jump in and say, all I'll say is it shows how their idiotic rules and idealistic ways will only destroy themselves. That situation is just it just sums up everything about their side, if you ask me.
It destroys us all. This is the problem. If it just destroyed them, that might not be quite as bad, but it destroys us all at the end of the day. Destroys the fabric of society.
Because I think it was Vivs that said it, whose social contract is stronger than the others? Do we say, oh no, we've got to side for the Tourette's guy, or oh no, they're too black men, we've got to side for them?
I thought you were still talking about feminism.
Okay. Oh no, you said change the subject. No, sorry.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So sorry, so say that again, what you just said. I took it in completely the wrong way.
And now that I realise you thought I was on about feminism, oh yes, the death of us all, yeah. The situation with the guy with Tourette's and two black actors up on stage, and the Tourette's guy in the crowd shouts out a word that we all know what it was. It's no one likes it, and we're left with the situation on the left where they go, their heads are gonna explode, because is the rights of the two black gentlemen on stage higher, or is the poor gentleman with Tourette's is his rights more higher?
Well, destroy them. This is exactly the same as the LGBT and Islam thing. It's exactly the same. Yeah. It's like it's like the meme of the guy, he's got the two red buttons and he's sweating because he doesn't know which one to push. It's exactly that. But it's really funny because it's brought the spotlight onto Tourette's. I mean, it was the BAFTAs, there was an award show, and apparently there was an award for a film about Tourette's. Okay?
Yes.
And this guy who suffered from Tourette's was in the audience, and he had the two black guys. I think it was I can't remember who they were now.
Actors or producers or something of that nature.
Actors, producers, whatever. And the guy shouts out involuntarily the N-word, right, really loudly, and it creates this whole storm. And you had Jamie Foxx came out and said, no, that guy meant it. He meant it. He meant it when he said it. And then, of course, now the Tourette's Society have come out and said, no, you don't understand Tourette's. It's completely involuntary, and they quite often don't. So it's sparked this whole debate, and the BBC are getting shit for it because they didn't take it down. They left it up on their
deliberately, in my view.
Yeah.
Well, even if it's not it doesn't have to be in your view. They were doing a thing about a film, bringing awareness about Tourette's. So, like, it would be rude to blank that out, surely.
But you know what? This is the first time, okay? Because everybody sees Tourette's as people involuntarily swearing. All right, that's kind of the accepted view of Tourette's, in my opinion.
That's the smallest aspect of it, though.
It is. It's just one small aspect of it.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what it's famous for. And I've never ever come across or heard of a Tourette's person saying something racially unacceptable. It's always just been like the F word or the C word, or
they do. They say the most terrible things.
Here's the thing: I don't really understand Tourette's, so I could be way off the mark on this one. But even if you say things involuntarily, those things have to be in your head to start with.
Yeah, of course.
Say them. Yeah,
because
this
it's saying the worst thing in the situation that
yes,
you do.
yeah,
That you say it's like I've known people with Tourette's, several people, and I've seen programs on Tourette's. One of them is they take a whole bunch of Tourette's people. They go on holiday. Girls in the this was the time of the 9/11 around there. Girl with Tourette's in the airport shouts out bomb, bomb.
Oh,
But
sorry.
yeah, and I mean,
You
it's
know.
hilarious, and even the situation. The first thing I did was laugh. I thought it was hilarious because I don't have a problem with words, but Bron said, "Oh, I don't really understand the condition," and again, I'm going to jump in with my big fat arse and say, "Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of people don't understand it. Number one, as we said, the swearing is kind of the smallest part of Tourette's. It's actually tics. It's all and I suppose what to take from it is it's involuntary actions. And so when Bron says, but I don't understand why they would say that word, the part of Tourette's that's with the swearing that's really awkward to understand, but that's just the way it is it's not just that they say naughty words, it's whatever is the worst word in that situation, that's what their brain says.
Isn't that so weird, though? Isn't that
Correct.
so weird?
That is absolutely correct. That's what happens.
Yeah, so at an airport, there wouldn't be any... It's nothing bad about saying the N-word, but if you say bomb, that's the N-word in an airport. And so for unfortunately, it's I call it the mischievous disease. Like we all have a mischievous part of us. And I can guarantee 10 times in your head you've said, well, why did he say that about one of us? Or you've said, oh, give over. In your head, you've said that, guarantee it, 10 times about me, about everything I've said. It doesn't matter. But
this actually...
They actually say it. That's the thing.
Yes, the filter is removed. The regular everyday filter is gone.
Yeah, this actually kind of makes me... This is something which I've thought of for quite a while, which is kind of put me onto this. It's like with regards to the N word. Okay, now it's unacceptable. It's socially unacceptable to say that word. Fair enough. It's a very offensive word. Okay, now forget about kind of black people using it amongst themselves without any problems. Okay, that's something else. But in replace of when we talk about that word, we say the N word. Oh, they use the N word, and that's kind of an acceptable way to talk about it. But even using that expression, when you say the N word, you still say the word in your head, don't you? When I say to you the N word, you say the actual word in your head.
Of course.
So it's not really kind of helping, is it? It's not making the word go away because you're still saying it. You're still saying it in your head.
What it's doing is making racists quiet.
Yes,
but they've still got the racist thoughts in their heads, but they're not saying them. But as for the Tourette's fella, this is one of the worst things he could think of in the situation, and whoop, he says it.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not. It's again that kid. Whoever says it is not racist. Just like the person at the airport doesn't have a fascination with bombs. It's like again. I think
exactly.
You know that they're not racist. You don't actually know that they're not racist, do you? You're making an assumption they could be racist. You don't know.
What?
Sorry, it's more Schrodinger's cat. It still doesn't know. But what I mean is the act of saying that word does not. And let me elaborate on that as well. So I've often joked that I have anger PTSD, anger Tourette's, in as much as if you catch me on the wrong day and I lose my temper, I am the foulest. I use the foulest language, and usually afterwards I'm totally embarrassed, and I'm, especially if it's someone I know. And but I used to speak. I used to speak to everyone that way in the army. You say, "Fucking get here now, boy!" Right? What the fuck did you just do? That's just the way I talked. So the loss of control when I'm angry means I just, words just come into my head, and that's just the same for a Tourette's guy. It's just it's all day, every day. So
I I think you said or almost said something which I agree with there, which is like, just because you might use words which are considered racist, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're racist.
No,
Just
no.
Well,
because
no,
you use a racially offensive word doesn't necessarily mean that you are actually racist.
no, of course not.
No,
Because
yeah.
this
Of
is
course.
because we're living in a superficial society where
Yeah.
that people don't understand words. You know, they think
aren't
they
just
do.
words. You know,
They
we've got
think
to remember.
they think they understand them. They think that the words sum up the person. Actions possibly are more important than words.
I mean, there are some people
Possibly.
who I've come across who believe that the N word isn't a racial slur because it can be used for white people as well.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a racial slur because and again, it's a ridiculous concept. If black people, or if some people are allowed to use a word and others aren't, you've already created a race. The word wasn't racist. The conditions in which the word are used are racist.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I think it kind of, originally it was just used to mean a lazy, good for nothing person, and it wasn't. It wasn't actually that the race aspect wasn't attached to it originally. That just came because it was used against black people specifically for a long period of time by white people.
I think Thomas Sowell goes into this as well in a book which I've sort of touched upon. He talks about the beginnings of the American, particularly in the American South. I think it's called Black Rednecks and White Liberals. So it's enormously complex, and our modern world likes to reduce things down, little sound bites. There we go, little solutions. There we go.
Yeah. It has been reduced down to a common, just a basic thing now, hasn't it? Which everybody just accepts as being what it is, what they're
But
told.
we can see this desperate struggle amongst liberally minded woke people to think, well, actually, who it shouldn't be either. Who's the most oppressed? Well,
yeah, the battle of the oppressed. I'm
yeah,
more oppressed. No, I'm more oppressed.
yeah, yeah.
I'm Brian, and so's my wife.
Yep, I know.
The funny thing is, there's a lot of loud shouting there. Usually, the most oppressed is the one that you don't hear because they're oppressed.
Yeah.
So anyone shouting "I'm oppressed" is not the one that's oppressed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Jamie Foxx is oppressed, is he really? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, go on.
As far as I know, he's a successful Hollywood actor and entrepreneur, and I dare say he lives in a big old mansion somewhere. I don't know. But I don't think
I mean, he's just pushing the trope, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's to be expected, I suppose.
Yeah. But
it's a very lucrative industry.
I think if oppression grants you privileges and financial reward, then fine, lots of people will claim to be oppressed. I'm not sure if someone living in a burnt out street in Middlesbrough, of whatever shade of melanin, that seems a little bit oppressive to me. Are they oppressed? Well, by the system, yeah, I reckon. By industrialization, yeah. By lack of housing, by the shit stem, as
by being of a certain class, they're oppressed.
Yeah.
By the state.
Yep. Absolutely. So there we go. Another interesting individual event of which much fury, which signifies nothing, as the bard would say.
I think yeah, as 4D initially pointed out, probably the most interesting thing about it was the fact that it exposes the liberal woke mindset as being completely redundant, that they can't, that they cannot hold these two opposing, they so desperately want to encompass these two so-called minorities, but they can't do it. It's just you know, they're just not going to go together, like two magnets opposing each other. You'll just never get them together.
Why can't we just accept just accept the clumsiness, the mess of life? Treat everyone as you would wish to be treated. The golden
Stop being
rule.
condescending to minorities. That's all it is.
So bloody condescending to minorities.
Stop trying to think that you can save everybody and it's like, just you're not bloody Jesus Christ.
The impulse, as it was said by Emma Mencken, the journalist and satirist, the impulse to save humanity, Mencken, Mencken, H.L. Mencken, yeah. The impulse to save humanity is an excuse to control humanity.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. They want to control it all. And and
I often feel your woke white saviors. They want their pets, don't they? They want their pets to make them feel good
about themselves. Yes, exactly.
About themselves. Yeah.
It's all selfish. It's all selfish.
Yeah,
I know.
Can we not have an overall compassion? To accept that that black people have had a rough time. Tourette's people have had a rough time. Can we not?
The problem is white liberal women, because as soon as there's a problem with black people, the liberal women jump on it. If there's a problem with retardation, the liberal women jump on it. It's they're the freaking problem.
The white liberal women, the middle class liberal women, do tend to be particularly bad.
Oh God, yeah.
I was just gonna say, can you imagine an alternate timeline where the N word had not been so castigated, and it had just been put out, and all of the negative connotations have been stripped away from it, and it was acceptable to use. Okay.
Well, it has in American hip hop.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, and all the power had been taken away from it, which is what a lot of black people have done by using it continuously amongst themselves. They do that to take the power away from it, and fair enough, I get it. But just allow everybody to do that and just use it instead. So it's not it's a put down, but not a racial put down. So anybody can use it against anybody else. Okay, it take away the racial connotation from it. So it's just like calling someone an idiot. It's perfectly acceptable to call a black person an idiot if they're acting in a stupid way, because there's no racial connotation to that. They'll probably try and put one onto it, but there isn't.
Yeah, I know, but that's something that's kind of just. It's a long way from that, isn't it? I'm
saying imagine an alternative. What I'm saying is imagine an alternative timeline where it doesn't have that. And probably the guy with Tourette's wouldn't have said that. He would have said something else, which would have been
actor.
or good actor.
Bird actor.
But if he had said that, it might have just been considered a bit of a joke, and it might have made a few people laugh if it had the racial connotations stripped away from it.
But the words are powerful. The power of words. They're what we've got. That's what makes us as it's a foundational and fundamental thing to us being human.
Yeah.
It's this just incredible skills of communication, absolutely incredible. It is amazing. I read books, so I would say that. I'm going off to get a book. Continue as you were, gentlemen.
Yeah, well, it's very timely you say that, because I think it is about time for Viv's Bookshelf. So, Viv, tell us what you've been reading this week.
Oh, all right. I've been reading a new writer I've discovered again, called Ramsey Campbell, British writer who writes, again, the sort of horror stories I write, which are not really exactly horror, they're strange tales. It's like domestic horror, basically. The sort of stuff I've been writing lately. I've been scribbling furiously. I've written my fourth one. I've got ideas for two more. I think if I reach 12, I'm going to self-publish. How's about that?
Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. I'm going to do that, mates.
So
Yeah.
the domestic horror, that just sounds like when it's time to do the housework where I live. That's domestic horror as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. The last story is about housework. Yeah. My last story called Dirty Dust is about housework.
All right. Yeah. I look forward to reading those. Actually, it's good.
Yeah. Tell me what you think. I'd love to know what you think. They're up on the stack.
All right.
I've also just started going through, and I find with these old Greeks, and Romans, you can dip into them. The writer's called Epictetus. He's the fella who is founder, well, not founder, but who advanced the Stoic school and Stoicism, as we know. And maybe 4D knows about this in the army, but in the army, whether you knew it or not, you were taught to be a Stoic, to put up with stuff. You know?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because in the introduction, I'm reading there was the person who was held in Vietnam, and he stood as a running mate for Ross Perot in that ill-fated attempt, a presidential attempt back in, I can't remember the date, but his name, I think, is Speakman. He became an expert on Stoicism, and he says in the army they taught Stoicism. You just put up with things. You accept that some things, as I said earlier, one of the core things of Stoic philosophy is you accept the things that you can change, and you attempt to make the change that you can effect. You can change this. Mostly it's to do with about yourself, your behaviors, your habits, for example. But there are bigger things that you can't change that make people angry. For example, the government. Now, we can change to an extent the government, but we have to accept that this is the way it is. And it doesn't mean accepting it and just saying, oh, well, it is also about, affecting change within your capabilities. Yeah. So that's what I've been reading, and they're called discourses. And he writes things like, I must die. So he's accepted that. But must I die crying? It strikes me reading these old books as well, these dusty old books, that human nature hasn't changed. No. In fact, in some ways, it's got bloody worse.
Only because we're coming up further away from instinct. These natural things.
Yep.
I don't know. Can human nature change? Isn't it just a thing that we always have, regardless of what we layer on top of it?
They're trying. That's the point. I think they're trying to force us to change our human nature.
Yep.
I don't think they can, though. They can only bury it. That's all. It's our instincts, isn't it? It's what we do instinctively. It's not a.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're living through the times we're living. Is because, whatever the argument of however long they've been doing this for, this is the point of time where it's got too much, because it's just silly. That's why we're at where we are.
Yeah.
I do wonder, like, when maybe 100 years in the future, how they'll look back on this period. They'll probably give it a name, like, you look back to the last century, you had the Roaring Twenties, so on and so forth, and the Swinging 60s. I'm sure this period will have a name. I do wonder what it might be.
I was going to say, I think this will be massive. I think I've often said this. I don't think any of us realise how big a moment we're going through at the moment.
Yeah, totally,
absolutely historic. Yeah, absolutely,
totally historically. It's a whole shift, a paradigm shift, a shift in the way of living. They'll probably call it the age of the clown.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it seems to me that the people in government, I mean, Epictetus goes on about this. He goes on about politicians being clowns, and I'm thinking, oh, all right, fella, okay, yeah, mate, yeah. So
they are
clowns. They're entertainers. They're there to take your gaze off of what's really happening, which is exactly what clowns do.
Yep. Yep. Peter
I mean,
Mandelson. So that's my books. I
right.
don't know if you're going to carry on about Stoic philosophy. I would really recommend. Also, there's only a few Stoic writers. I would also recommend Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. It's a thin book. He was an Roman emperor, but he wrote some stuff, little sayings. You can read one at night. Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. You can get it cheap as chips. So again, espousing and especially as an ex-military man, 4D, something like Stoicism, I'm sure you'd look at this and think, okay, you know.
I was going to say, I don't think I knew what the word meant until I joined the army. We certainly are told about that word, yeah, and it is. I mean, to a certain extent, if you didn't have that, you wouldn't last beyond the first week, sort of thing, you know.
No, you're in the trenches. You've got to be stoic. You got to be a stoic about all this. Bombs flying over your head. You got to think. Well, I have to accept this.
Such is life. Yeah.
Hey ho.
Yeah.
Anyone have a brew? Let's have a brew then. But I mean,
here's another fine mess I've gotten myself into.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to, the amount of times I've said that sort of thing to myself. Like, you sat there, it's pissing down with rain, you're looking down the sight of your gun, you've been laying there for an hour and 45 minutes. It's usually 2 hours you have to sit on stag, and like I said, and then a beetle runs across you and bites you, and you look up and you think, you did this to yourself, you
yeah. Yeah, I volunteered for this. How did that happen?
Yeah, it wasn't conscription, it was me. I said, yeah, I'll have a go at this, mate. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that's the point. I hadn't thought about that actually. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff about wars I've read is when people have been conscripted, like Second World War, First World War. But then I'm thinking, well, yeah, of course, some people do volunteer, don't they? Yeah, of course they do. Do you know they're trying to?
That's all PTSD is, really. It's coming to terms with the fact that you fucking did it to yourself.
Well, yeah. But I mean, yeah. Oh, dearie me. Yeah. I mean, I suppose that, again, Stoic philosophy, you know, you have to, again, it says, yeah, you've made that choice. You've made it. You've done that. You've made that choice. It's nobody else made you do this. It's like when people say to me, oh, but I should be getting this or that from my insurance claim. And I feel like saying to them, well, nobody made you buy your insurance. And it's just the fact that you didn't read the terms and conditions. But nobody made you go on holiday even, you know, and get bitten by a bloody monkey or whatever you're claiming for, you know. I don't know.
Sorry, just quickly mentioning, I just mentioned about being 100 years into the future and looking back. It just reminded me of a story. Was it a story or something I read somewhere, which was talking about the possibility of some scientific breakthrough which would allow us to rejuvenate, to basically stop the aging process. And that kind of got me thinking. It's like, would you actually want to do that? Would you actually want to, if there was a drug that was on the market that kind of reversed your aging, would you be interested in taking it?
I've already thought of that a great deal, and no, I came to the conclusion a long time ago. Actually, I wouldn't mind. I suppose if you were to push me, I wouldn't mind being healthy as a 30-year-old until the day I died. But I don't want to extend my life.
Yeah, it's not quite the same, is it? I mean, I would be interested in doing it just to feel younger, just to have the energy I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live forever, but I wouldn't mind just having a feeling a bit more youthful than I do these days.
I just think it would mess you up, actually. I mean, we have a natural lifespan.
It would mess everything up. It would mess humanity up, because the death, the births and deaths thing would be completely screwed up, because everyone would be taking a drug which rejuvenated them, so less people would be dying. So it would really mess things up for sure.
Well, yeah, it would do that, but also in your mind as well. It would play tricks on your mind. It would have these weird things. Apparently, every 7 years, your body has completely changed. It's replenished yourself. The cells have shed and renewed themselves. I mean, this gets less as you're growing. So you are, in a sense, making yourself new. And I guess this whole idea is probably based around that of cell death. Stopping cell death. I don't really know.
I would just like to have a bit more energy. That's all. I just want a bit more energy.
Yeah.
Without having to drink, crappy stuff like Red Bull, which is poison.
I know.
Anyway.
I know.
Just a bit more natural energy. That's all I ask for, really.
Yeah.
We're back to that word of acceptance, I suppose, aren't we?
Well, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Everyone, old age, it happens to everyone. You can't get away from it. So you got no choice but to accept it. You have no choice.
I know, but then again, you got, I've often thought you've, in this modern age and deliberately spread dissatisfaction, right? Dissatisfaction. The young want to be old and the old want to be young.
That's always been the case, hasn't it? When I was a kid, I just wanted to grow up. I wanted to be older when I was a kid.
Yeah, but it's kind of pushed even further, when you're old. I mean, it's like, if you look at pictures of people right up to, years ago, probably right up to the 60s, 70s, old people looked old. They don't look old nowadays. Well, some of them do. But I mean, people say to me, I mean, I'm of a certain age, and they say, "Oh, you don't look that age, do you?" Oh, as if that's a bad thing, as if I'm using moisturizers and I don't use any of that shit. It just so happens, that I haven't gone grey. Well, I've gone a bit grey, but that kind of thing. But it is true, I guess. The young always want to be old, and once they're old, they want to be young again. I guess it's being happy in the moment, just being, again, accepting what's happening in the moment. Just, I know it's hard, young people. You desperately want to leave that shitty education system where you're being programmed into a corrupt and fake system. I get that, but then what are you going to do, mate?
Well, I mean, talking about being in the moment, that is kind of the essence of Buddhism, really. Living in the moment. That's very much what Buddhists try and achieve. Which is makes perfect sense. It's very sensible, but it's almost impossible to do because it requires incredible discipline and a lot of hard work to achieve that.
I know.
By which point you probably don't really care about what goes on in your mundane life anyway, because you're operating on a level way above that. But the thing I find strange, it's kind of normal when I think about it, but it does strike me as a bit odd now. When I was a kid, I used to look at old people and they dress like old people. Right? But now I see old people, and I mean, I'm kind of rapidly becoming one of them. And they don't dress like old people. They're wearing trainers. Old people never used to wear trainers when I was a kid. You see old people wearing trainers. They're tying their hair, the men tying their hair in these gay buns, and wearing tight jeans. And it's like, these people are old. I would have looked at these when I was a kid and think you're an old person. And you're dressing like a young person.
You're not thinking of it almost logically, in as much as, of course, we're wearing trainers now that we're old people, because that's what we wore when we were kids.
I get it.
But when you saw old people when you were a kid, they were wearing suits because that's what they wore all their life. Like,
it's just wear a string vest and his trousers.
As fashion changes, the old people changes.
Yeah, of course. No, it's not that I don't understand it. I understand it, but it does strike me as kind of how things have changed. It's like, wow, it's like
I must admit, I know what you mean, because I probably every time I've seen you guys, I've had a hoodie. I pretty much all of my clothes are hoodies, and I look at my mirror in the mirror sometimes before I go out just to do a quick check, and I think to myself, are you trying to be 20, or am I doing this out of vanity? But it's not. It's just I'm comfortable. I've always worn hoodies, and now at my age I wear hoodies, and I find it quite funny actually that I'm the age I am and I wear hoodies.
Well, it is. It's probably, I mean, you get young kids nowadays, right, who look at us old farts, and they see us as old people wearing old people's clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
because they're what they wear as kids would be something completely stuff that we wouldn't dream of wearing these days. You know,
No,
and
we're all wearing the same stuff. Young and old are wearing the same stuff.
yeah, maybe. I mean,
No,
hoodies,
now they've got the idea where their trousers are, their ass has to be hanging out, or one leg
Hey.
trouser leg has to be up, or
that's old fashioned. They don't do that anymore. Young people, they don't really wear that. American hip hop. That's prison style. You know, people wearing skinny. They're wearing skinny. Yeah, they're wearing skinny jeans, skin tight jeans now. They don't wear that baggy stuff. A few of them do, but not many now. It's changed, but it's comfort for old people. I think it's all right. You know, if you're if you're putting on trainers, it's a comfort to aching feet. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
Well, it's just like 4D said. It's something that we used to wear when we were younger, and we've just continued to wear it. We've gotten comfortable. It's what we enjoy wearing. We feel comfortable wearing it. So why stop wearing it? You know, I mean, I wear trainers. I wear hoodies. I wear t-shirts. I don't wear suits and sort of what I would consider what I used to see old people like wearing when I was a kid. I wouldn't wear that stuff. I'd wear what I feel comfortable in.
Yeah. I mean, I basically wear English country clothing. Like
you are, yeah, but you do look like an old person. You do dress like an old person.
I do a bit, actually. I know.
You wear your tweed jacket and your flat cap. And,
I've got all that stuff. I do. That's exactly right.
Your wingtips.
Well, I've got brogues. Yeah, brogues. But but I've got my Barber jacket and I wear 504. Are they 504s? Jeans. I know.
You are Farmer Viv, aren't you? Get off my land.
I know, and a flat cap. I do wear a flat cap, but that's where I live. That's Suffolk. You know, a lot of people, a lot of the older people wear that. But I know what you mean. I mean, you can take it too far. I remember crossing the road once round Oxford Street with my kids, and my eldest said, "Dad, what's that man? What's he wearing?" And he was a really old geezer, and he was dressed in, and he had like jogging trousers on, trainers, but he had a T-shirt that read "Sex Instructor, First Lesson Free."
Oh no! God.
And I said, just don't look, kids. Don't worry about that. It's
that's what we call freedom of expression.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're all free to be ourselves now.
There does have to. I really do think there does have to be some kind of mental condition going on there.
Yeah, I know.
People who wear things like that, it's like, yeah, okay, it's just
Yeah, the geezer's got to be. He was got to be in his 70s. You know.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the joke. I actually think that's the kind of guy I'd go up to because he's obviously
well, maybe maybe he just had an extremely advanced sense of humor.
Maybe it's irony, satire, all that stuff as well.
Because if you're wearing that because you think it's going to work, then you're mental. But
yeah. Well,
it's kind of akin. It makes me think of people who you really don't see them these days, but you might do every once in a while. Those T-shirts which are kind of a representation of a black shirt, a black tie, the tuxedo.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out I've still got a T-shirt, although it's about 30 years old, but I've still got a T-shirt in my locker there that's written on the front, "Grab your coat, love, you've pulled." And I still love that. That was one of my favourite T-shirts to put on.
All right.
What other jokes have you gentlemen got? Because I think we're rounding up.
Are we not going to have a quick? We're not going to give Kenny a quick mention.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, yeah.
Kenny Everett.
Yeah, go on. Yeah,
Kenny Everett. Well, our new honorary member this week, ex radio DJ and TV personality. Quite a memorable place in the British sort of comedy history, I think, in the 70s and 80s. Quite a popular character.
Wild and wacky.
Yeah, zany, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
as
was.
I say, I always used to be frightened of him. He when I was very little, something about his legs and throwing them around. His arms were very gangly. Not frightened, but I was wary of him.
I think that was one of his characters, wasn't it? The guy with the because he used to have, because when he did his TV shows, he used to have all these made up characters, and there was one that used to have these really long extended arms. Was that one of them?
Yeah, well, I think it was a woman, and he would over exaggerately sort of uncross and cross his legs,
that
and
was
and I
Cupid.
think
That
his
was
arms were
Cupid's
long.
stunt. That was Cupid's stunt. He'd dress up as this as a sort of American B movie actress with sort of big fake boobs.
That's it.
With no attempt to hide his beard, and he just pretend to be interviewed by someone like Michael Parkinson or Terry Wogan, and his catchphrase, it was all done in the best possible taste, and then he'd like massively sort of cross his legs and flash his red satin knickers underneath. That was funny. But he also had a few other characters. There was the one with the pastor with the huge hands. You remember that?
Oh my god! Yeah.
And he had like the punk Sid Snot, who's always trying to chuck cigarettes into his mouth.
And the leather clad sort of almost gay copper type person, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was the I think it was another guy, the kind of angry sort of upper middle class city gent with his pinstripe suit, and it'd always be kind of tapping on the camera and complaining about the about the level of how bad things are getting and how the morals are dropping and everything like this. And then he'd turn around and he'd just be wearing the back of his suit. He'd be wearing women's lingerie, like suspenders and stockings.
That's the one. That's the one. And there was a French fella as well.
Well, he did the mime artist, didn't he? The mime guy.
Yeah. He did a mime guy.
Yeah. He did a very funny sketch about the Bee. He did a few with the Bee Gees, actually, not with the Bee Gees, but as him, kind of pretending to be each one of the Bee Gee brothers, and there was one where he was interviewing them, and they were all replying to his questions with lines from their songs, singing lines from their songs. It doesn't. I can't really describe it and do it any justice. You'd have to look it up and see it.
Yeah. Oh, do you know? I've been scrolling and I've just seen Kenny Everett interviews the Bee Gees. A classic moment. 2 minutes.
Yes,
that's it.
Yeah.
He just liked to be extravagant, didn't he? He was just really extravagant with everything he did.
Yeah, I mean, he did everything himself as well. He started off as a DJ, working for Radio 1, BBC Radio 1 when it first started, I believe, which would have been around mid to late 60s. And he kept on getting sacked because he was just too over the top. He got sacked from them, and then he went into commercial radio, and he jumped around quite a lot, apparently. He started off on pirate radio, which he came from pirate radio. Into the BBC. And he kept on, he would always say these kind of risque sort of things and make these ill-advised quips, which at the time were really would get him the sack. These days they wouldn't even raise an eyebrow. But he kept on getting sacked because he'd make all these risque comments. Eventually,
he was actually one of the first people. I'm just reading it there. He was one of the first people to join the BBC new radio station in 1967.
That's right. Yeah, he was one of the originals. Yeah. He was also gay. All right. And the funny thing about that,
was he?
Yeah,
I didn't know that either. Not that I ever care what someone's sexuality is.
I thought he got married. I don't care, but I thought he got married.
Well, here's the funny thing, right? Because he did get married, and before he came out, he got married back in the 60s to a woman who apparently was a psychic. Obviously, not a very good one. She didn't see that one coming. But then, he came out as being gay later on. He ended up living. He had a weird relationship. He lived with these two other guys. They had a kind of like a three sort of some relationship going on. He was apparently another strange thing. He was a big supporter of Margaret Thatcher in the Conservative Party. Being a gay man, that was quite an odd one as well. And he was instrumental as well, because he's quite good friends with Freddie Mercury, I believe, from Queen, and he was instrumental in getting Bohemian Rhapsody released as a single, because that was really that song was just, nobody was releasing stuff like that as a single in those days. Well, I don't think anybody does even these days, because it was such a non-single type song. And all the record companies and said, you can't release it. It's not going to get airplay. It's too long. It's not the right format. Blah 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 blah. And Kenny Everett just used to keep playing it on his radio show.
Right.
And people just kept on going to the record shops wanting to buy it, and found out it hadn't been released. So they released it, and the rest is history, as they say.
Right. It's absolutely fascinating, really, isn't it? Again,
yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm looking. I'm also scrolling through things I didn't know about Kenny Everett. He basically died of the quite dubious AIDS virus.
Yeah, he died of AIDS, apparently, which he caught from one of the two guys he was living with. Apparently, a guy called who was an ex-Russian soldier.
Yeah.
Nikolai was his name, apparently.
Oh my word! Isn't it?
And subsequently died from it. So yeah.
Yeah, he died at age 50. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
There's an interesting thing he said. He said he could do more for gay rights than showing that he was funny and human, rather than marching in the streets.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose in a way he was right.
Yeah, of course.
He worked as a radio DJ in Portsmouth, my old stomping grounds, in 1976.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really interesting. Crazy.
What else? He was also apparently. Do you remember there used to be a radio show? I don't know if you remember it, called Just a Minute. 4D, you probably don't remember it. Viv, you might remember it.
Yeah, I do remember it.
Kenneth Williams was on it quite often.
Yeah.
Where they'd have a panel of people, and they would have to talk about a certain subject for as long as possible without hesitation, repetition, deviation, and they just used to have to talk about it and go on and on. And somebody would try and buzz in and say and catch them out, say, "Oh, yeah, you repeated yourself there, or you deviated there." And apparently, Kenny Everett went on it once and managed to speak about marbles for 90 seconds.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Wow. How interesting.
Yeah, he always fell foul of whoever he worked for, it seems. He always ended up getting sacked for one thing or another. And because I think he was just a bit too over the top for his day for the mainstream.
Yeah, definitely.
And he was good. He was very funny. I used to enjoy watching him. I always thought he was good.
Yeah. Oh, blimey! Honestly, really interesting. All these comedians we're bringing up. A lot of people would have forgotten them, I suppose, by now.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Well, Kenny Everett's kind of been a bit sort of not many people talk about Kenny Everett much these days, do they?
No.
I mean, he's one of the more recent ones that we've spoken about. I mean, a lot of the ones we speak about tend to go back a bit further back than him. We're talking about sort of 50s and 60s. A lot of them when they were kind of actors when they're in their prime.
He's probably one of you're right. He's probably one of the sort of latest that we've done, sort of thing. But you're forgetting. I mean, all three of us are old farts now. We're it is a bygone era, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know who modern new young comedians are. I'm not in the pop world, popular anything. There's nothing popular about me anymore.
No, I don't know either. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same. There are a few. No, I honestly don't know. As we spoke before, I know a few people. But they're mostly alternatives now. People like Dr. McHonk Honk and Monkey Boy. Do you know them?
No.
No. But I mean, the
Doctor,
last time I had a TV license was 2012, 2013. So
Yeah.
I haven't got a clue anymore.
yeah.
I don't have a telly either. No.
I only tend to come across comedians now through sort of like other means. It's not like I sort of watch them or go to see any shows. They just sort of pop up via other sources, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm really out of touch with what's going on. I think most of them are crap now, anyway. To be quite honest with you, because they're just not funny anymore. They're not allowed to be funny.
So I believe, and I have seen occasionally. I watch modern comedians, something on YouTube, and I just think, no, come on. I mean, even that one. What's the Scottish comedian who was really controversial? He used to say mad things. Oh God, what's his name? Beard, big old.
Billy
What's his
Connolly.
name?
Billy Connolly.
No. A new one, relatively new. He's gone all
not
woke.
Frankie Boyle. Not Frankie Boyle.
Frankie Boyle.
Completely sold out, that guy. Completely. What a wuss.
Yeah.
He used to be so edgy. He used to be really right on the cutting edge. And then woke came along and he completely bent over and took it. Capitulated completely. What a sellout. Yeah.
He's one of those ones that I've got a funny feeling he's really dodgy, and that's why I hope I'm wrong, but
possibly. Yeah, you never know. Yeah. He does. Yeah, there's something a bit odd about him, I think. Yeah, definitely.
We're not casting aspersions here, people, but
yes, we are.
but we are.
We're not, but we are. But yeah, so there you go, Kenny Everett. Like I said last week, I'm not sure we'll have too much to say about him. Maybe we can find something a bit more to dig up about him. But yeah,
we'll have to. I always I always try to watch something of the people to then talk about. What would you recommend? What should we recommend to each other to watch ready for next week? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the only stuff Kenny Everett is going to be from his TV shows. So he did two lots. He did one for BBC, which was called the Kenny Everett Video Show, I think, which ran for a couple of years, and then he went to ITV, and it became a Kenny Everett television show, or it's vice versa. But he went from one to the other, and it's more or less the same kind of thing. And there's loads of clips on YouTube. Most of them are just his characters, you know, and that Bee Gees interview one is quite funny. The Cupid stunt ones, Sid Snot. He did one of a punk called Gizzard Puke as well. Kind of a philosophical punk. You know, the pastor with the massive hands, the mime guy. The French guy with the really with the what do you call it? The chin, the fake chin. I can't remember the name of that guy. But yeah, just go on YouTube and look up Kenny Everett. You'll come across a few, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah. And he was a radio person before he was a comedian, wasn't he?
He was.
It's mainly radio. Cleo Rockus was his sidekick. The woman often dressed very scantily.
Yes, a very buxom, very, very attractive woman. Yes.
Yes. Apparently. Yeah. Apparently so. Mm.
Yeah. She was very nice.
Don't know if we're allowed to say that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very pneumatic, a very pneumatic young lady. But they were close friends as well in real life, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, if we're into jokes, I'm sorry. After last week's disgrace, I'm just not joining in. You know, I'm sorry, but
yeah, I think we kind of get the idea by now, Viv.
Yeah, I know.
No apologies necessary. It's just
thank you for being understanding.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what has 5 toes but isn't your foot?
No, I don't know.
Somebody else's foot.
Oh, that was. I see where we're starting.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been
I've got a friend
thinking.
who's got a butler who's missing his left arm. Serves him right.
I
Yeah, I've been thinking about taking up meditation. I guess it's just better than sitting around doing nothing.
I like that one.
What do you call a man who's had his vehicle stolen?
No.
Carlos. Viv's not impressed.
No, I that's okay. That one. What do you call a Frenchman? What do you call a Frenchman wearing sandals?
Oh, Viv, you said this last week.
Oh. Forget that. Cut that out for me, please.
You can't. You obviously can't.
The social services will be. If you don't cut that out, social services will be on TV.
So this cowboy walks into a German car showroom and says, "Howdy."
Oh.
I went out with the grammar teacher last night. I mentioned my colon and she talked about her period. That's all about we had in common.
That's all right. I like that one.
Or should I say that's about all we had in common? Yeah. After kissing my wife on the couch, she said, "Let's take this upstairs." Okay, I said, "You grab that end, I'll grab this one."
Sorry, yeah.
So I told my mum. So I told my mum, I've opened a theatre. She said, "Are you having me on?" I said, "Well, you'll have to audition first."
Oh, the quality has suddenly risen.
I'll soon fix that. I'll soon fix that.
Yeah.
When my wife is sad, I let her colour in my tattoos. Turns out she just needs a shoulder to crayon. There you go. Normal service has been redeemed.
I missed a bit of that. Say that again.
When my wife is sad, I let her colour in my tattoos. Turns out she just needs a shoulder to crayon.
I missed the word shoulder.
Okay. Today I learned that if you're in a canoe and it flips over in the water, you can safely wear it on your head because it's capsized.
Yeah.
And one more. A woman was on trial for bashing her husband over the head with his guitars. First offender, asked the judge. No, she said, first a Gibson, then offender.
Then offender, all right. Lovely. Well, I think that's about it.
Viv, are you still with us?
Yeah. No. I am. I'm desperately thinking. I did buy some shoes from a drug dealer once, I must admit. I don't know what I don't know how he laced them up, but I was tripping all day. No,
you slightly redeemed yourself. That's not too bad.
That's all right. That was all right.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll sleep. I'll sleep peacefully this week, not like last week when I was tossing and turning, thinking, "What's wrong with me?"
We don't need to know about your tossing at night. That's enough, right? I'm off.
No, that'll keep me up tonight. And that
right. Well,
all right, time to go.
What can I say? We haven't discussed much in the world of politics, and that's probably a good thing.
That's all right.
Yeah. We had a week off.
There's no law that says we have to do that every week. It kind of gets a bit stale.
No. I know it does, because it's all rinse and repeat, isn't it? Same old shit. Who's been arrested? Who's going to be arrested? Who do we want to be arrested?
Yeah. So yeah. So as they say, as Dylan used to say on the Magic Roundabout, was it Dylan or was it Dougal? I can't remember. Time for bed.
Yeah.
Hasta la vista, baby. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it easy, guys.
Oh, Zebedee. That was it. Zebedee. Zebedee used to say that.
Yeah. Do you know that
Time for
was? Do you know about the story? Sorry, a brief addendum. That was first of all, that person. Now, I think that's Emma Thompson's dad who used to narrate that.
Yeah,
The
Peter
actor.
Thompson, was it? Peter Thompson.
Yeah,
What he did the Magic
original.
Roundabout, yeah.
Yeah, the original series is in French, and he didn't understand French, so he just made up his own dialogue.
Oh, right.
Fair enough. Yeah, kind of makes sense. It was all just kind of, I don't know what it was.
It was surreal.
It's amazing how much of children's animated stuff is surreal. A lot of it is surreal.
I know.
It's
really bizarre, isn't it?
It is. It's kind of weird.
I know. I've often thought that. Well, I'm going to wish you good night. Yeah, that's the that would be the magic mushrooms. Yeah.
What was that?
The magic mushroom, surreal. The magic mushroom influence on children's television in the 1960s and 70s.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, the old LSD.
Yeah, all that.
LDS. The old LDS.
Yeah, pound, shilling, and pence.
Yeah. Anyway, we're trying to get out of here. We're trying to get away.
Desperately.
Yeah.
We just keep on talking, don't we?
Craig's going to say goodbye right about now.
You're voluntary?
Mm-hmm.
Scanlon? Billy, for Christ's sakes, you must be committed, right?
No.
Okay. You're just a young kid. What are you doing here? You ought to be out in a convertible, bird dogging chicks and banging beaver. What are you doing here, for Christ's sake? What's so funny about that?
Well,
Jesus, I mean, you guys do nothing but complain about how you can't stand it in this place here, and then you haven't got the guts just to walk out? I mean, what do you think you are, for Christ's sake? Crazy or something?
mm-hmm.
Well, you're not. You're not. You're no crazier than the average asshole out walking around on the streets, and that's it. Jesus Christ, I can't even believe it.